But I did want to hear about one of these because obviously, you know, we're seeing a lot of actual protest in the streets. We're seeing a lot of that, you know, in all of the cities across, well, the world, you know, in many different ways. Um, so that would fall under the disruptor title. Am I correct about that?
Yeah, so I think disruptors or frontline responders, even.
So my question is, what are other things that fit into frontline responders or disruptors that aren't actually just actual protest in the streets?
Mm,
Do you see things that
yeah.
you would say that's disruptive that are not just like physical out there-ness?
Absolutely. So I think for disruptors, you know, I think as I was saying earlier, I feel like an experience or a situation where a non-Black person of color, like an Asian American like myself, right, is able to disrupt anti-Blackness or anti-Black sentiments, or to talk about anti-Blackness with, like, you know, my family, my uncles and aunties, right? That is an example of disrupting a set of experiences that sometimes exist in non-Black people of color communities. So that's a form of disruption that's not like necessarily being out on the streets, right? But it is also valuable because it's about disrupting a state of mind, a way in which folks have perceptions of Black people in this country, right? So that's one example. I think for frontline responders, again, it doesn't have to be on the streets, right? It could actually be in your workplace or on your college campus. How are you actually taking the institution to task, right? So if you're on a college campus, it's a little hard now because I know we're all sheltering in place, et cetera. But if you are connected to an institution that has uplifted a legacy of white supremacy and oppression and anti-Blackness, that has perhaps, you know, statues and buildings named after slaveholders, a frontline responder or disruptor could be someone who actually calls that out and takes the institution to task. So those are just examples of how you can do the work in alignment with your principles, and yet not necessarily have to be on the streets, which is obviously in of itself extremely valuable and powerful. But for those who don't feel ready to do that or able to do that, especially in this moment of a pandemic, those are different ways in which you can still disrupt or be a frontline responder vis-a-vis taking your institution to task, for example.